Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers, and you guys already know the routine. We'll see you right back here in 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Scoreboard Keepers. You're around here, we don't keep receipts, we keep the score. So if you want to get on the board, make your point. If it makes sense, we'll add it to the board. If it don't, we won't. Scoreboard Keepers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I am your host, the Ref. I keep you up to score on everything sports, hip hop, and hot topics. And we got one on there for you today. Hot topic. I know everybody. You got to be living under a rock to not know this one. You have to be living under a rock to not know this one. This Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones battle. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't see this one ending well. I just don't. I just have this eerie feeling. So before we get off into this, we're going to get this clock rolling because it'll only take us 10 minutes. If you guys haven't been living under a rock, or you're not a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, you should know that Micah Parsons, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL, has not participated in preseason at all because of back tightness. Micah Parsons is seeking a deal that's in the 40+ million per year range. That puts him in, in the same ballpark as elite quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? And this stuff started with Myles Garrett, and they're redefining the defensive end position as far as compensation goes. And then on the other side, you got Jerry Jones. Old school owner with a lot of money. And he has a reputation that precedes him as being a shrewd businessman, especially when it comes to negotiations. I mean, all you have to do is go back and look at the face that Emmitt Smith had on national television when he was sitting next to Jerry Jones after they lost a couple of games, and he was finding it hard to get his money. He had to battle to get his money. So I mean, it's not I'm just going to say it's just not a place that young athletes are going to want to go if they know that they're going to have to fight this hard to get their money. If these players have to fight this hard to get their money, they're not going to want to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys. Hence why they haven't won anything in so long. Like, we always thought that it was about winning championships. But for some owners, it doesn't seem like it's about winning championships. When you start talking more about business and we know that you win in the end, but fans don't care about that if they don't have any of your money. Those fans that's buying those jerseys and stuff like that, these people eat and sleep football. They want championships. That's why they come to the game. Now, why the Eagles are coming to town on September 4th, okay, and these are the defending Super Bowl champions. They're coming to your house, and you're going to be out there without your elite defensive player. If you want your organization to be worth $14 billion or $16 billion, whatever it's worth, you better make sure you can plant those fans in those seats, because at some point, they're going to get fed up with the nonsense. They're going to get fed up with the nonsense. Now, I'm going to tell y'all where I have a problem with this, right? This is the issue that I have. Micah Parsons is on a Hall of Fame trajectory, right? He's obviously one of the most dominant defensive players in the league, and that we've seen in some time. Okay, they're very far and few between. We see players like Micah Parsons come through. So when you have somebody like that on your team, you want to make sure that he signed. Not just sign him. You want to make sure that he's not embarrassed in front of his teammates who look at him as a leader. So it makes me wonder, Jerry, on your motives behind treating your star player like this. Now, I saw Stephen A. get in front of you, and I saw Stephen A. You didn't have the same energy. I'm just going to say it. You was in front of that man. He told you that he heard what you were saying on television. And he said, do you think I listen to that? He said, he's basically telling you, do you think I care what you say? For lack of better words, this is what he was telling you. Do you think I care what you say? At the end of the day, it's only one person that needs to be comfortable with that. And he asked you, who is that? Who do you think that one person is? You said Micah. He said, who else? The man said, who else? And you said you. He said, there you go. So what I got from that is, Jerry, you flexing on a 26-year-old. You flexing heavy on Micah Parsons right now. You throwing your weight around and your money around. Now, you worth $14 billion, whatever it is, but if them fans stop coming in there, you ain't worth 14 cents. Not that franchise. Listen, you can't forget who paid the bills. It's those fans. Those loyal fans. The ones that you don't want to lose. Those diehard ones, those season ticket holders. It's been a long time. Every fan gets to a certain point where they get tired of losing. Where they start seeing the same repetitive things over and over and over and over again. They get tired of seeing that. They get fed up. And then they give up. Or they'll start asking for things that some people are not ready to relinquish. Like, they'll start asking for new ownership. Listen, Micah Parsons is not your average bear. We all know who Micah Parsons is. Micah Parsons is not bucking up against you if that's what you're thinking. But here's the problem. Here's the whole problem to all of this. Micah knows you have the money and you still won't pay him. He's saying, look, don't have me coming out here on this field playing against teams where I'm better than their other defensive guy on the other side of the ball, but yet he's making more money. What does that say about our organization? Because he does have that jersey on, so it's our organization at this point. You're the owner, but he's out there representing your organization. He's a representative of your organization. You're taking this stance that nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody, you got the money. You're the boss. It's so old-fashioned. Everybody knows that it's your team. Everybody knows it's your team. But don't nobody remember nothing about that team since Jimmy Johnson. I mean, listen, they could be in the news all day long, losing. It doesn't matter as long as that Lombardi's going to other cities, nobody cares about that star on the side of the helmet. And I thought Stephen A. would tell you that, but he didn't. I was disappointed in Stephen A. for sitting in front of you and not keeping it real. He probably thought you were going to throw him out or something like that, but so what? Why not just keep it real? Why wait till you get back on television to say what you really wanted to say? I mean, listen, you're not there to just tell somebody what they want to hear. You're not there to run that man's business either. But just because he's been in this business for umpteen years or whatever, don't mean he don't make mistakes. Times change. This ain't 1980. This ain't 1980. You have the money to pay Micah Parsons, and yet you choose not to. because you think of what might or shoulda, woulda, coulda happened? Or you want to take advantage of the things that you have in place in order, you might want to franchise tag him, or he's already under contract. So what? If a new oil deal comes down the road or whatever business you in, wouldn't you want to take advantage of it and diversify your bonds? Why can't Micah Parsons diversify his bonds? You didn't get to where you are by not taking advantage of deals. You did not get to where you are by slacking in business. If there's an opportunity there, you have taken full advantage of it because your bank account says so. Why can't Micah Parsons do the same? Nobody didn't hold you back from a deal because they said, oh, your business might go down in 5 years or you may not pay your bills. Nobody did that. You went in and made deals, closed deals, opened deals. You wheeled and dealed. Why can't Micah? And you have the money. See, but I'm going to tell you, I really think that you rubbed this kid the wrong way. He's 26. And you probably cut him to the core. For somebody that young, right? For somebody that young, I know that's the buzzer, but I got to say this. For somebody that young as Micah Parsons, right? When you burn them, they may not allow you to burn them again a second time. And this is one of those kids. So if you were dealing with him like you were dealing with Emmitt Smith seems like he's a nice guy. Micah Parsons seems like he just would rather be away from you and go somewhere else. If you don't want to pay him, allow him to go. And I believe that that's where he is. He all the hard work that he put in during this all season, I thought that he was about to have a great year. All that all season work, and then he missed all of camp. He missed all of camp after putting in all of that all-season hard work. I saw him running with them high school kids up hills. And then he comes in and he can't even get his bread. So I'm going to say that we have a flag on Jerry Jones for bullying with the bag. B&B, bullying with the bag, man. Bully bag. So, I don't see this ending anytime soon. If you don't want Micah Parsons, just let him go. Why hold on to him? If you don't think that he's worth whatever the money is he's asking for, why keep him? Or you just want him to go out there and work for less than the other people are getting. What job have you ever done that for, Jerry? What job you ever went to and worked for less money? Come on. You didn't become a billionaire by taking less money. I'm not saying that you never have in your life, but you always want to be competitive. Your businesses haven't grown and thrived by you taking less money. You've taken advantage of deals, allow him to do the same. Not to mention, he knows that you got the bread. He knows you got the bread. All he waiting for is the spread. Did I say that? Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the buzzer. If you haven't already, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thumb up this video. Leave your comments down below on what you think about this situation. Over here at the Scoreboard Keepers, we absolutely think that Micah Parsons has played himself to the money that he's asking for. It's not his fault that the market changed. Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns started this dumpster fire. And listen, this is why all these teams get that money in the beginning of the year, so they can pay their players, especially their star players. And this is not a good message that you want to be sending throughout the locker room, that people will be having problems getting their money, because nobody's going to want to come to Dallas. It'll be more like an exit than an entrance. So leave your comments down below. Micah Parsons, I hope you get your money. Jerry Jones, I think you're bullying him right now, and I think it's hypocritical. I think that as a businessman, as a shrewd businessman, you understand what it's like if it's an opportunity out there and what it's like to take advantage of it. That's all Micah Parsons is doing. And if he doesn't get his bag, I already think that you lost the first game of the season. And that's from the Scoreboard Keepers at home. Season will pick up exactly where it left off for the Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. Like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thumb up this video. Leave your comments down below. Let's dialogue. So until the next episode of the Scoreboard Keepers, I'm your host, the Ref. Score. Get your bag, Micah.